Hello, this is John Speelman with a roundup of the final day's play at the Grand Chess Tour. And both matches, the final match between Liren and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, and the fourth match between Magnus Carlsen and Aronian were more or less wrapped up before they'd gone very far. Ding and Carlsen were both leading after the classical games, which counted more than the, I think it was 3 or maybe 6 points for the classical games, i.e. 3 times 2, 4 points for the rapid play and 2 points for the Blitz. So having won an extra game in the classical chess was really important. Anyway, Ding basically wrapped it up more or less because the Blitz only counted a third of the classical. He wrapped his match up with his first win in the rapid play. It was a very good game. He later lost, I think, something like 3-1 in the Blitz, but he'd already won the match by then. I was playing Blitz today in the tournament, in the London Classic tournament, the Super Blitz. I got knocked out by Luke McShane in the last 16. It ended in a match between Gawain Jones and what is the guy's name? Garamian, an Armenian guy, an Armenian grandmaster, which Gawain won the first game crushingly, lost the second game in an ending, and managed to hold on in an Armageddon game. But I'm also going to show a game from the Blitz, a rather nice game that Garamian actually lost. Anyway, I've got 3 games of the many games today from here, and this is Ding's first game, which is a fantastic game against MVL. He's really playing very well, this guy, indeed. Played d5 here. And they get to a modern Benoni. Obviously, can you play knight e4 in this position? It must be possible. But bishop f5, knight back. The thing about Ding is he just doesn't seem to be remotely afraid of playing the moves he has to play. So he does this. This is a bit passive actually at this stage. Doesn't mind giving the knight the b4 square. And he's got quite a nice advantage at this stage, according to this engine up here. I've not got the engine on, but I've got the scores. Don't know if f6 is much of a move. It doesn't look great. And he just plays his moves. I mean, he could have taken on c4 as well, but then he wouldn't have any counterplay really at all. Because, I mean, black could never get in b5 then. So, good move to annoy the knight. Then he goes back and attacks. And at this stage, bishop f8 is possible, but one thing you can do is to go rook e6, I think. Take, queen d8, takes, queen e7, queen e2. And basically white ought to win this position. There's going to be a bit of a fight, but it's not going to be really anything very much. He actually played queen d8, so Ding took it. No tactics that work. I mean, the guy calculates fantastically well. Now, I think most people would just play h3 here and say, well, I'm winning, why do I need to do anything? But Ding played g5, which is quite impressive. Can't go h4 at the moment because the pawn takes knight takes bishop. e6. And he just doesn't care. It doesn't bother him that there is some slight weakness because he can calculate everything. This didn't help very much. Complete control now. Basically, there's nothing going on at all. If you can try bishop c3 or something, but I'm sure the tactics are just not going to work here. Bishop f8 is not a great move, is it? Nice calm move f4, preparing queen to e2 to h5, and the guy gave up. So this was MVL being absolutely smashed by Ding. A very, very impressive game. You just think this guy is so strong at the moment. Well, not at the moment in general, you know. He's making it look incredibly easy. So that was that game, which basically I think already brought Ding victory in the match. I should say, if I look at the Grand Chess Tour, the final standings, so the eventual standings were that Ding beat MVL 16-12, even after getting, I think, one draw out of the 4 Blitz games. So he lost 7-1, didn't he, in the Blitz, 3.5. And Magnus won 17-11 against Aronian, though he did lose the last Blitz game. Anyway, if we go back here, the second game I wanted to show you was this very fluky, well, it's fluky, but it's rather beautiful win by Aronian against Carlsen. So they're playing their moves. Really didn't go down very well. It looked as though might be okay for white. Then he started going backwards. Presumably Aronian could have done something better round about here. It all became rather disgusting. So I suppose if you've got time to play knight a1, you're starting to fight. So he played b5 takes. Well, I mean, these things aren't going to work, are they? You can see this position's absolutely repulsive for white at the moment, but he keeps on fighting Aronian, as you do. Somewhere around about here he just needed to get control Magnus, but he got a bit excited. And this is already, if you look at the evaluation up there, it's just -0.6. It's unclear. Knight c4, and he took it. Aronian, which is quite a clever idea. I think you can play something like check here, check here. If I put the engine on, I had it on earlier. Bishop f8, queen f7, and then this move, queen a4. And I think eventually you're more or less okay. So, you know, Magnus had made his position a bit loose. What happened was this. And Levon played the splendid move rook c1, which was taken. It's actually losing at this moment. Yeah, all right, -19, thank you very much. And now Magnus blundered horribly. He should have played king h5, check here, because if you now go takes here and here, then this move controls the vital h3 square, and it's black who's his mate. But he didn't. He played g6, which is a 2 question mark move. And Magnus sat there and thought, and there is absolutely no defence at all against queen h4 mate or queen hits pawn with check and queen h4 mate. You can try this if you want. Queen h1, king takes queen, king here. But then white, very unkindly, he doesn't start giving checks and letting the king, he just goes here. And mate follows. So that was a big turnaround. And I've got one more game for you, which I think is this one. Is this the right one? It is, yes. This one I was watching in between the rounds. Or had I already finished? I'd already lost to Luke, possibly. This is the stuff that Magnus played earlier against Levon. Yep, your man played rook a4. I don't know if people have heard of Ali Mortazavi. He's quite a good IM, very intuitive player, quite a hacker really, so has my seal of approval. And he found, I think, almost every attacking move that Magnus played. Queen d7 here, f5. I don't know, castles. Probably at this moment, your man needed to play h6 just to make the position secure. This is unclear now. I mean, you can maybe play g6. The engine, you can see, is giving an assessment where black's a bit better, but it's loose. It's difficult to play. That makes white's life a lot easier. I mean, but it's already, I think rook c6 is probably what you should play. But it's already rather unclear, this position. Now, I think black could have played king g8 and had a position, but Liren blundered. He played rook f2, and now it's just clear. Takes, obviously you can't take that because of queen h6 and mate, and just queen g3 threatening rook h8 mate. Best black can do is this. Magnus took this, which looks fairly sensible. John Nunn had pointed out already that you can play check, takes, takes, here, here, e2, check, here, and knight f3. Rather a nice line. But I mean, rook takes e3 is completely winning. You're going to get a totally one rook ending. And so Liren resigned anyway. I mean, rook e3 was the practical thing to do. So I thought that those were the three best games of the final day. I said I didn't see them all because I was playing in the Blitz. And I was going to show you this game. I'm going to, really rather a nice game. Let's import it. Sorry, it's here. Let's paste it in, and it should come in. Nice game between in the semi-finals. It was between Jules Moussa and Tigran Karamian, and here we are. It's rather, there's just a nice combination in the middle of it. This is what they all do now. 95, not supposed to be. B5 is supposed to be fine for black, but Moussa gets his boys out. That's particularly sensible. This looks better than the lines with bishop b3, doesn't it? That can't be a great move. And now white lets rip. He goes knight d7, knight takes knight, bishop takes pawn with check, king takes, rook checks, king to there, bishop takes. Let's just check, there's nothing clever happening. Plus a lot, yes. You can't take, of course, because of queen g4 and queen g5 mate. So although you're two pieces down, it is not a good thing. Say bishop d4, you would play queen h5, which would not improve matters at all. F5, queen h5, rook e7 I think is really the only move. You're threatening to go queen h7 and take things. I don't know if you can try knight f6, maybe you can play bishop takes knight and queen takes rook check, and you're going to have a massive attack for nothing. Couldn't play king takes bishop because of queen h8 and rook h7 and queen g8, and well, I'll just do it, shall I? Queen checks here, checks here, checks here, here. So he had to allow this. Okay, three pieces is sometimes enough for, well, it's often better than two rooks, but here with the position so loose it was disgusting, because you win the e6 pawn, and now white has huge attack for nothing. That's the nth pawn, where n is 4, I think. Good move, mister. Takes aim again. Wins some more pieces. Doesn't help, obviously white's winning anyway, and he resigned. So that was rather a good game in the Blitz tournament. And I think that's probably really enough. So I should say that Michael Adams won the British knockout. I don't know if I said that already. He beat David Howe in the final after a lot of fighting. And Gawain Jones won this Blitz tournament. One of the impressive things was Marcus Harvey, the guy who took Michael Adams all the way in the British knockout. He won the preliminary group I was playing in with 10.5 out of 11. I did manage to draw with him, and he then took Gawain all the way as well. He got to the semi-finals. Very impressive, actually. Just a very good natural player. And there we are. So I hope you've enjoyed the coverage of these different events. And I'll be back soon with something else, I'm sure.